Namaste. We have Dr. Sarada Purna Sonty garu back again. Thank you, Sarada garu. Welcome.
Namaste.
So you have been elaborating on your life work concept of Aksharapadeeyam. Such beautiful episodes have passed already. We are in the 4th today. And last episode, you have lucidly explained about the sound, the shabdas, the significance of them, and you really took us on a wonderful journey. And what do we have today? What are we embarking on? Sarada garu?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let us start with the invocation. Dorphiryukta chaturphis-spatikamaninibhai akshamala dadhana haste kenaiva padmam sitamapi cha shukam pustakam chaparena bhasa kundendu shankhaspatikamaniniba bhasamana samana same vakte viteyam nivasatu vadane suprasanna. Hello, Vani.
Hello, Andy.
This is Aksharapadeeyam 4th episode. So far, we have come long way talking about the philosophy of the aspect. Actually, there are few aspects excuse me, that have been puzzling all the philosophers, linguists, and scholars, and rational viewers especially, since thousands of years. The issue that concerns mainly is thought and expression, sounds within and words articulated, linguistic potency and linguistic competence. That's another main issue. And origin of word and worldly languages. People know that the words, the languages are vehicles for us, for our expression. Two major aspects are to be understood in this process. One is philosophy of language and philosophical psychology, because it involves a person. As human, we all know that we think in terms of language. When we close our eyes and in silence, when we think, what language do we use? We do think in terms of words, languages. It can be English, Telugu, Sanskrit, any worldly language. But are we really using the languages? That's the point. And this involves two aspects majorly. One is the components of the expression in linguistic communication. The components of the expression. And the second aspect is thought and language as a conceptual concepts, conceptual elements or conceptual components of the linguistic communication. That means one is thought and language as components of our spoken language, thought and language as the components of concepts of the spoken language. And scholars came up and they faced 5 issues here. And it's still puzzling them. So mainly, what part of our mind mostly gives us the words and the letters? How does it make the sounds? And how is the meaning conceived before it is expressed by using a language? What is the form of the sound when it is conveyed to the listener? And what is heard and what is understood? Does it have a language? And what is happening between the speaker and the listener? So, many steps in this are very intangible, because only tangible element here is the words that we speak, because we grasp them. Pratisakya Siksha Granthas, Panini, Bhartruhari, and to almost to our times. Many scholars of South India and North India. And mainly what that was celebrated was Pandit Suryanarayana Shukla of 1961 and Pandit K.S. Iyer of 1969. And other parts of the country, they were celebrated with the one concept, that is stretch of sound. They didn't talk about the akshara. They're talking about the nada of the akshara. And Vishwanatha Rayal Garu, Vedacharya, in 1998 and around 2000 time, he took the subject to akshara conceived and akshara uttered. That means we conceive our thought, we think in akshara terms, we speak in akshara terms, that is padams. Then Vedic scholar Rayal Garu said that the akshara that we conceive by itself is independent, complete, that means a sampurna madhyada, and in its entirety, it exists by itself, and it comes out along with the thought. That means these two are, the akshara and the word that we speak, they are not separate. They happen at the same time. And it happens very spontaneously, very naturally. What happens is, when we think, the thought picks up the aksharas, makes the padas, that is words, and makes a sentence to give a full-fledged meaning, to convey the message. So all these things are happening at the same time. So what Vedacharya Rayal Garu says, that is, he came up with this Aksharapadeeyam, that is Bhartruhari. In his Vakyapadeeyam, he says that when we speak, each word put together, we make a sentence, Vakyam, and that gives the total meaning, the total message, not each word by itself.
Sure.
And he also says that he brought another subject called Spotavada. Spotavada and Vakyapadeeya are Bhartruhari's patent concepts. And what Rayal Garu says is, even before we make the padams, each akshara has a capacity. We need to know that. And that is how we are making a padam. Akshara itself is sampurna. So he named the theory as Aksharapadeeyam. And when I was under his tutelage, when I was working with him for over a decade and a half, we were talking about many padas. And we take how we make that word. How is it formed? Why do we pick up that particular akshara? So what he says is, the stretch of his sound, that means when I'm speaking to you, you hear my tonal culture, tonal volume, the potency, and the movement, and the modulation, and the articulation, and the flow, the fluidity of it. You hear all that. They give you the meaning. They give you the message that I want to give you. But the akshara that I pick up has all this in it. So this is the theory we are coming up with. So what happens here is, the naturally, spontaneously, inherently coming out aksharas are 26 of them, as we spoke in the last talk. These are stretch of sounds. These 26 letters are stretch of sounds. Those are in Shabda Rupa. That means sounds unuttered. We haven't uttered them yet. So what happens is, when we conceive a thought, along with the aksharas built in it, what we do, the intention drives this energy, this sound energy or shabda energy or stretch of sounds, drives them to the oral cavity to pick up a rupa, that is shabda rupa. Nada rupa now gains shabda rupa. Okay, Shabda, and it has the meaning in it also. So what happens here is Akshara Shakti, inherent. Akshara revealed, that's also inherent. Akshara conceived, that is inherent inside with meaning. Akshara processed is within, and then Akshara uttered. There are 5 steps before. So interpretation of these enigmatic components, sound components, makes one aspect very clear, that Akshara is the basic, even before we make the padams. And my intention is to shed more light on this Akshara aspect with much reverence to the scholars from the past. I take this in my Guru's method that he has given me. So main focus of my deliberation is the speaker, the utterance, and the subjective interconnectivity. Okay, from my side. Oral communication, most of the time, does oral communication, the words, most of the time doesn't give the entire message that I want to give you, unless it is followed by 5 elements. Swara, Varna, Matra, Balam. Okay? Varna means it needs a letter. Means recognizable, describable, formed structure of the sound. Number 1, Varna. Swara is my tonal value to it. Matra is the measure of each letter. Balam is the potency. And all these things together, articulation forms, and they come out in the form of letters. So what happens is oral communication, when it does not give direct contents of the intention or the thought, but the competence, the ability, the pratibha, the Shakti, the Akshara Shakti within gives that energy to us. So what happens here is, what Bhartrihari says, it is the Padam and the Vakyam, and we are coming little deeper into it to Padam and Akshara. And also we spoke about those 5 elements of Varna, Swara, Balam, Matra, Samasantanaha, that is the word Veda says. And Akshara, it can be either Namavachakam or Kriyavachakam. That means when it is complete. As we spoke, it's specified, very specific, each letter. Very specific, very precise, very complete, very potent. And it has the capacity, and it is inherent in us. And so what happens is, in this sound energy gains expressible capacity in the oral cavity. Oral cavity is our Vakvaharam, articulation of the Aksharas. There are 3 main levels in our oral cavity. 3 main levels, each letters in each level. That means 3 times 8, 24. We'll come up with 26 later. So it starts with the vowel A, E, U. 3 levels, okay? Ka, cha, ta, ta, pa, the first layer. Ga, ja, da, da, ba. The sounds, please listen carefully. Ka, guttural, cha, ta, ta, pa. Guttural, palatal, cerebral, labial, and ta is again palatal sound. And these 5 areas, there's another one that is nasal. That comes in the third level. First level are ka, cha, ta, ta, pa. And there are 2 more. Ha, ya. If you close your eyes and see the formation of these letters, they all come from the same area of articulation. It can be guttural, ka, cha. It doesn't have the second dimension to it. Okay? And when you say ga, da, 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 ba, it has a cerebral, it is a cave. So it picked up another dimension. So the third R, U is the vowel. Nga, nya, na, na, ma, those are nasals. The 5th of each category that we mentioned above. And the sha and la. These are the sounds that come from there. So in this, A, E, U are the primary vowels. They have independent sustenance, independent capacity, and they are complete. By itself, they exist. And each letter has a meaning to it. And we will talk about the meanings. The primary consonants are ka, cha, ta, tha, pa, ga, ja, da, da, ba. And the antastas and ushmas, that is the, what do you call aspirants, sha, sha, sa, ha. Because it picks up a capsule of air before we pronounce. And some of them pick up more capsules of air to say the sound. So, and the fourth row is the subsidiary, that is sa and va. These two sounds, if you pronounce and say, they are rather incomplete. When we say the s, like sink, s sound, it is a linguodental. We are just pushing the air. That's all is happening. Yeah. There is no absolute touch there. There is no specific articulation point. It is halfway. And same thing with, s and v. When we say v, it can be the dental, labiodental. What happens, it's not complete yet. It's like we can say wa, halfway, ostia. Or we can say complete touch. There is no complete touch. There is no specific, complete, full-fledged area to pronounce that particular word. Va. But this va and the sa plays the major role in articulation. In going back, this and ma is the bilabial nasal sound. That is another sound that we use. So what is happening here are the 26 letters we talked about, 3 areas, they come up with articulation. So what's the difference? The first layer, ka, cha, ta, ta, pa. The resonance is good, complete good resonance. Okay? When we say ga, da, 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 ba, it's a higher resonance. When we say nga, nya, na, na, ma, highest resonance capacity. There is a variation in resonance of the letters when we pronounce. That makes the difference, and that makes the difference in the meaning also. It carries. That's where we need to go. And if you go to the other vowels we are talking about, a, e, u, a, I, o, au, these are all compound. That means they are combinations of the primary vowels. Primary are only 3, right? Even the colors, primary colors are 3, right? And the secondary 3 and the tertiary. So same thing for the sound, we have primary sounds, secondary sounds, and tertiary sounds. I, ow are those. And so these aksharas, we are putting all those aside. We are taking only the primary sounds and primary aksharas. They are the full-fledged ones. When we pick up the combined combinations or secondary and tertiary aksharas, they give a different meaning altogether. That's where we need to go now. So what happens is each consonant, that is called stop, sparshakshara, it has no existence unless the vowel joins it. There is no audible, complete structure to it unless the vowel joins it. When we say it stops, sound doesn't come out. If you join a, ka, the kakara, the vowel, the consonant sound stops here. If you join a, ka, it comes out. So without the vowel, there is no akshara. So that is the reason a, e, u become the primary and the pranava aksharas. Okay, and automatically combining capacity. The tongue can jump to any level in the mouth to pick up any consonant among those 26. But it picks up a consonant even before the vowel joins it. If I want to say Agni, a I said, I don't have to say it comes out. Ah is a natural sound comes out. G, N, E. Before E joins G and N, I pick up the consonants, but the vowel joins it. So what happens here is, even before the vowel joins, the tongue can jump anywhere in the articulation cavity and pick up one of them out of 26.
Right.
And the vowels join. So this capacity, spontaneity, and the capacity and the inherent ability that we can make the sounds, it is our own capacity. We do it. Nobody else teaches us. Nobody tells us the signal. We do it spontaneously. And it is inherent. So these 6 life energy manifesting areas we have. Okay? What are those? As we mentioned. And the vowel, A, E, U. Vowel to vowel speaking area, A, E, U, spreads from the guttural to the labial level. That means it tells us the boundaries of our pronunciation. A, E, U. Okay. And consonants forms 3 horizontal lines. And as I said, aksharas with least minimal resonance, aksharas with higher resonance, aksharas with highest resonance. And the arrangement of these letters are very precise, very complete, very scientific, and very perfect in its nature. These are all not our doings. These are natural to us. And so the tongue jumps and picks up the words and says it. Every akshara, these 26 of them, have a specific purpose and specified meaning to carry and to convey. So what happens is, as we know that life is a continuum of stages, actions, events, experiences. All this we need to express. How do we express? In terms of language. And area of articulation and area where all actions are being processed is the oral cavity. Okay? The speech action is the representation of each thought that's finding an action in reality. Okay, let's go to the akshara now. We are talking about the akshara, but we need to go a little deeper. What is happening is, we all know that human existence happens in 3 levels. One is kalavachi, that is sense of time, past, present, and future. Bhuta, bhavishyat, vartamana kala. You and I know that if I say neno, it's the past. Nadi means it's mine. That's past. Neno means present. Naku means it's future. Neno, Nadi, Naku. When can I say Neno? That means I'm already there. That's me. It happened already. Right? So this kalavachi can be attributed to our life. That's point 1. Please remember that. And bhuta bhavishyat vartamana kala. The second thing is bhautika jnana manodehas. Bhautika is the physical. Jnana is our intellectual. Mano is our psychological. We live at 3 levels. So what is happening here is the most beautiful and wonderful thing. If you pick up all the words, the languages are endless, seamless. If you pick up all the words that are uttered so far by humanity, it's past the oceans. It's like as high as the sky can go. Sure. If you pick up the words and see, imagine, why did I use those letters to express that feeling, that thought? That's what we need to do right now. Why we are doing that is, now is the time to realize vak, the sound, is the capacity that we inherently have that will come to rescue us, help us now. Man is not just made of matter. He's also made of sound, equally important. And also he is also made up of air and light, Kanti. We need to know the secrets of those worlds too. We know the secrets of the physical world, but now we have to go there. Okay. And when I said Jnana, Bhautika, Mano, three dehas, and each letter, A, the first three letters, A, Ka, Cha, Ta, Ta, Pa, Ha, Ya, they refer to the activities associated with the events of the physical life. Please remember that the physical life, the first layer of letters, Ga, E, letter, vowel E, and Ga, Ja, Da, Da, Ba, and Sha, Ra. They tell us, connects us, explains us our ideas, thinking, dreams, goals. That means it helps us transcend. It elevates us. And the nasal sounds, these are very important. They describe the transcendental state already we gained. That is by Jiva. Makara talks about our manas, our emotional mind. And let's go to those three letters. Ya. When we say, close your eyes and say, ya, it takes an effort. So it's an energy that takes for an effort. So any yatna, any vyapara, any kriya, in three deha stages, remember the three deha, we cannot leave it. And three kala, we cannot leave those two, 6 aspects. Yakara represents yatnam, that is effort. Ra is the jiva suchakam. And we will talk about it in our lesson next time. It is even in act, in sleep, in wakefulness. It's always active. The jiva sustains, jiva lives. Rakaram, individual human being as a single, it's a complete living being. He has the life energy, the prana energy is Ra. And the lakara, ya, ra, la, lakara is the transcendental. Always we raise above with each thought. We become more with each thought. So that is the lakara indicating. And sa is the prana suchika. When you say it is a flow of air, prana shakti. It's a prana shakti. It is the entire prana, that is jiva, prana suchaka. That means it's breath of life energy. What makes the being alive, which is common to all, is sakara. And the va is the vyakta. Prana shakti vyakta dasha. Prana shakti is being manifested in the form of vak. So the vakara indicates that ability that prana shakti is transforming into an expressible, audio, articulated, organized, understandable word form. So what happens here is, we are talking about prana vyapara, jiva vyapara. This vyaparam, what is happening? It becomes a yatra, that means a journey. The journey of life energy, the journey of human entity, the journey of the inner ability of human being articulated in the form of a word, that is Vak Yatra. Vak Yatra. This is what is Aksharapadeeyam is talking about. And how can we come up with these letters and the abilities of each letter? We will talk in the next episode. We will pick up words and we decipher them. We make comments and we will discuss and we will pick up at least 100 words. That's a challenge. But let us see how we can understand the Akshara capacity that we all have. Aksharapadeeyam is about Akshara Shakti. And this is our ability. We are endowed with that. We are glorified with that. And we need to celebrate that. Okay? And we will meet again in our next episode. Thank you, Ani. Thank you, yours. Namaste.
Amazing. Again, what can I say? I said journey in the beginning. This is like a journey on journey. I don't know, whatever level it is. And you have definitely transcended me and, of course, many viewers who are viewing this and listening to this. I have so many questions that popped up in the middle, but I could not stop the flow. We were already on the vehicle of your walk, so we were being transported. So definitely I would like to take, if you can take up some questions. I had one basic question was Akshara and Bija. We say Bija, Akshara. I mean, I wanted to know, that was one question that came up. And then when you said Mano, your hand went up here. Usually Mano, we think it is the mind. So those kinds of questions popped up. Probably you can on those. If you want to do it now, that is fine, but we can do it in the next episode.
We will take it to the next episode. And the questions that you asked are very wonderful. It requires long discussion, because we really need to go to the elemental level, micro level, or what do you call, to the bottom of that letter where it is forming, how it is forming. And remember the three dehas, three kalas, and the aksharas that we have divided: kachata tapa, gajada daba, and ngangana nama, and makara for manas, vakara for vak, yakara for yatnam, rakara for jiva, sa is for sarva prani, samana suchakam, and sha and the sha, like the sha and sa, are also, they have a specified meanings. When we combine the words, what happens? When we combine the vowels, what happens? And there are, we call in mantra shastra, tantra shastra, yantra shastra, they do have this bija aksharas. Bija, akshara bija sthiti, when it gains prana, the akshara starts its akshara yatra. If I say Agni, one word, you brought a wonderful topic. I don't know if you have enough time, but I will just try to give you a little bit about it. We constantly say Agni, right? Agni means it's not the fire that we cook, or it's not the fire when we see firing, or if you see the house is burnt. It is not just the visual light. Agni forms in many forms. So how do I explain it? Aksharartha of it. Like each vak that we say, we are giving a message. We want to give you a picture, right? When we say Agni, I'm giving you a picture, mental picture of Agni. Right. So what is it? What kind of Agni? If I say I have Agni in my stomach, that means I'm hungry. The Agni in my udaram is Jatara Rasam. That is also Agni. And I have Agni in my heart. That means my desire is overflowing. That's the energy. So Akaram is the Shakti that's come along with the Jiva. When we are born, Akara comes along with us. And the three letters, three consonants and one vowel in that letter. Akara is the first vowel. Ga, na. Ga and na. Ga is the cerebral sound. Remember? Ga, jada, daba. It's a cerebral sound. And nakara is a nasal sound. So vowel plus cerebral plus nasal plus another vowel. Akara is the prana shakti inherent coming out. It comes with our life. When the jiva is born, comes with it, with the jiva. Akara. And Gakara is the cerebral. That means cerebral sound are devata sthanas. We talked about it. Gajada, Daba, aksharas are used to devata sthana, raised above, transcendental, above. Gakara. Nakara is jnana suchaka. E is vartamana kala. Ikara. So we need to combine those energies, all four energies. A, Ga, Na, E. Agni. Combine those four energies, and what we come up with that is all the Agnis that we are talking about in our languages. If there are 64 different kinds of Agnis.
Okay.
Like netra, the netragni, that means it's a prana shakti that's coming out in the form of kanti. That's Agni by itself. And our breath, prana itself is Agni by itself, pranagni. Okay, Brahma Shakti is a Agni, Surya Shakti is a Agni.
Right.
So Agni word has many meanings. We need to see how we can come up with these 4 letters giving all those meanings. So that's where we are going. We will pick up other words in our next session, and we will come up with more details, and hopefully we will reach somewhere, reach to those in inner realms and dwell there to experience this beautiful energy that Aksharas give, which is inherent. It's a prana yatra. It is a jiva yatra in Akshara Marga. That is Aksharapadeeyam. Okay, and I will see you in my next session. Thank you, Vani. Thank you, yours. Namaste.
Thank you, Sarada Garu. Thank you all for visiting SMRITI. Please do stay with us. Sarada Garu is going to lead us to another exciting experience. See you soon. Thank you.